It's Thursday, and that means we will receive a virtual house call from our very own Dr. John Torres.
Yeah, we've come a long way in preventing and treating HIV, but many teens might not know they're at risk, and the reason may surprise you. So we bring in our expert, Dr. John Torres, to give us more insight into that study. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Good to see you, Dr. John.
It's great to see you guys too.
Love when you're in the box doing the virtual thing. Love it.
Excellent. I think this is going to surprise a lot of parents. It's going to make a lot of parents nervous, but whether parents like it or not, nearly half of their teenagers are sexually active, which means they're at a risk of getting HIV. As a matter of fact, a CDC study is showing that less than 1 in 4 sexually active high school students has ever been tested for the virus that causes AIDS. Now, researchers found that among high schoolers who had sex with more than one person in just the last 3 months, only 24%, 1 in 4, were tested for HIV. And among those who had sexual intercourse with more than 4 persons, well, the rate was just a bit higher at 34%, but still not where it needs to be. And this comes about despite recommendations that routine HIV testing should actually start at age 15 at the latest. And again, I think a lot of this news is going to surprise parents, but it's the reality of what goes on these days and something they just need to understand.
And Dr. John, another interesting study that's out with teens and marijuana. The new study, it shows marijuana doesn't seem to have an effect on a teenager's IQ.
And this depends on what study you look at, but in this newest study, a team of scientists in 3 states tracked twins made up of one who was a marijuana user and one who is an abstainer, and they found no measurable link between using a drug and having a lowered IQ. As a matter of fact, they found that while pot users lost about 4 IQ points over a 10-year period, their abstaining twin, the one that didn't smoke marijuana, their intelligence similarly declined. Now, the team researchers are suggesting that pot smoking could be merely a symptom of something else that's really responsible for that brain power drain effect and not the marijuana. However, that work says nothing about some of the other potentially harmful consequences of smoking marijuana in adolescence when the brain's still forming.
And what are some of those harmful things that can happen to teenagers who do use marijuana?
Well, a new study came out showing that the brain changes that they undergo, especially with high uses, are the same brain changes you see in people with schizophrenia or psychosis. That's the concerning thing.
Yeah, real risks there for sure. Energy drinks, also now we're talking about growing more popular. New research, though, says the drinks are not for everyone.
And the people in particular they're talking about are children. And if you think about it, energy drinks weren't even around 10 years ago, but a recent study found that more than 40% of energy drink related calls to poison centers across the U.S. were for kids under the age of 6, and a lot of them suffered from serious nervous system and heart symptoms. Now, the risks are especially high for kids who take other stimulant medications for things like ADHD and for teens who could mix the energy drinks with alcohol. So here's some tips. Keep the energy drinks out of your house if you can. If not, keep them locked up. That'll keep teens and kids from accidentally drinking them, especially if they're not supposed to. And again, these things, we think they're fairly benign, but they can actually cause some issues, especially in those really, really young kids.
Yeah, benign and so accessible, just in convenience stores.
They're everywhere, you're right.
Yeah.
And so, again, just keep a close track on them like you do on your medications, just to make sure nobody gets into trouble.
Well, Dr. John, if it has that effect on children, what kind of effect would it have on adults?
Well, our bodies are bigger, so it's going to have a similar effect if we drink a lot of it. But again, if you're taking stimulant medication, it could cause issues. If you have heart conditions, it could cause issues. You just want to be really careful with them.
All right. Thank you for that, Dr. John. Hopefully we will see you on Monday, and you'll want to stick around because we're going to talk about Valentine's Day, and you got to know it's approaching. And we want Mrs. Dr. John Torres to be happy on February 14th.
We want to give you a heads up, Dr. John.
There you go. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. John. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Couple celebrating